Alright, welcome back. This is the Crown Clown, and today we are doing What If Deku Was the Son of Zeus, Part 5. And before we get going, just a little news update about the series. So, this will be the last episode for Zeus for a while, and it's just until I can get the Rain and Daredevil over with, just so that way I can focus on these two and do these proud. And it won't be that much longer because I'm gonna start putting out like double uploads or Rain and of Daredevil daily. Like after today, I'm gonna binge record and just knock those two out. Alan Walker is going to be a bit on a more hiatus just until I can catch up with Blue Exorcist because I was in the middle of reading through it, but Cyberpunk came out and I've just been on Cyberpunk for the longest, so yeah. But anyways, where we last left off, Deku was, you know, just training out there with the exams and just blew everybody out of the water. And All Might is starting to take a liking to Bakugo and notices that Bakugo's got, Deku to spar against. And he's thinking about making Bakugo his successor so he could catch up to Deku. I can tell y'all right now, not happening. Not gonna happen. But anyway, so where we pick up, it's the day after, everyone's in class, and just everything's going, and Aizawa tells them it's time for the USJ. So they all load up, and Deku, he's really just chilling. He's back there with Bakugo, and he's like talking to Bakugo, telling him exactly what his weaknesses are and everything like that. Bakugo's listening, he's writing it down. He's just like, alright, alright. Because Bakugo values Deku's opinion, especially after seeing how strong he is. So they get there, and they're going through listening, and Deku's actually paying really close attention to what 13's saying about quirks being dangerous. Like, Deku, he's really listening to that, and he's really gonna put that forward and just embrace it the best he can. And then that's when the villains start attacking, and they tried to do the same stuff. Aizawa rushes down there to fight, and Kirigiri just warp gates everyone. And Deku notices he's above water, and he's trained enough with Poseidon on Olympus to know his powers work really well within water. And Deku's like, they must not know what our powers are. And Asui's just like, why do you say that? And Deku says, because my powers are especially conductive in water. Why would they give us the advantage on their own attack? And Asui's just thinking like, you're right, plus my quirk is best suited in water anyway. And Deku's like, exactly. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to shoot a mad lightning bolt in there, and anyone who's in there is about to have the worst headache of their lives if they don't drown. Which, once the lightning goes down, just get everybody out of there so they don't drown. I don't need like bodies on my sheet, not right now anyway. And Asui's just like, why not just, strike a hole? And Deku's like, I just told you, I'm not trying to kill anyone. And Asui's like, no, no, no. Why don't you just strike a small hole in the ground where no body could go through it, but the water could drain down lower? It would still shock them nonetheless, but at least they wouldn't drown. And Deku's like, okay, I can do that. So Deku hovers up in the air, and they're just thinking, oh, what's this kid gonna do? They're starting to peer out of the water. Minetta's still freaking out. Like, he's just like, who cares how strong he is? There's a lot more of them than there are of him. And Deku's actually insulted by that. He's looking at all them and he's like, you think these guys are stronger than me? And Minetta's just like, if they were all against you at once, yeah, which they are, so yeah. Deku's just like, watch this. And he takes a lightning bolt and he throws it straight down into the water, sending lightning rippling through the water, shocking everyone, knocking them out instantaneously and still shocking them. The ground is punctured and the water does start to drain, and by the time it's done, everyone is knocked out. And Minetta's just there, just like, and Deku's just like, no one is stronger than me. I'm the strongest. Get it in your head. I will be the king of the heroes. And, Minetta's just like, where is all this king stuff coming from? And Deku says, my dad was also a king. And so the villains, they're all fighting. And Deku, he's just like, okay, I've had enough of this. He can't really tell where everybody's at, so he just flies up there to try and get a look at, see where they're all at. Once he does, he's manipulating the weather again. Thunderstorm season is strong in Japan now. So Deku finally locates everyone, and he just has the storm rain down lightning, striking the areas with the villains, and pretty much just taking them all out in one fell swoop. Except for one group, which is Kirigiri, Shigaraki, and Nomu. And Deku's just like, okay, what is this ugly motherfucker that has its brain popping out? Like, what are you? I've seen some ugly motherfuckers in my time, but you take the fucking cake. I would much rather rub Cerberus's ugly fucking belly than stare at your fucking face. And, like, Nomu just doesn't understand it. He just charges straight towards Deku, and Deku's like, okay, you want to fight. Now we're talking. And he just catches Nomu's punch like it's nothing. And he's just like, before you go picking a fight, though, I'm not sure you're strong enough to handle this. And he punches Nomu so hard, it sends Nomu straight up into the air. And Shigaraki's actually really shocked. He's just like, what is happening to Nomu? He shouldn't be moved that easily, especially not by a kid. And Deku's just like, your first mistake was looking at me as a child. Your second was thinking anything you could ever do would be strong enough to defeat me. And at this point, they still don't know what Shigaraki's quirk is, and Deku's very overconfident at the time being. But Aizawa's got his eyes focused on Shigaraki, because after he's seeing Deku take care of Nomu like it was nothing, like he's gonna focus on Shigaraki. But Nomu comes right back, and Deku's just like, I can actually go all out on you, can't I? You can actually take it, can't you, big guy? All the Nomu does is just scream at him, and Deku's like, I'll take that as a yes, then. And once again, Deku just straight up knocks the shit out of Nomu, grabs him by the foot before he goes flying off, slams him into the ground, like lightning bolts him straight after, and flies up and just drops his knees straight into the Nomu's back. And he's trying to get a hit on Deku, but Deku's just enjoying himself, testing the limits, because Nomu's regeneration, shock absorption, it's all like cool and all, but at the same time, Nomu's already had his limits, because having a god's level of lightning along with godly strength that's far surpasses All Might's, hitting him constantly without holding back is like, Nomu's overwhelmed at this point, and Deku's only getting warmed up. So Nomu is fighting for his life, and Deku's just toying around. And Deku just straight up charges as much lightning as he can into his fist, punches Nomu straight in the stomach, and sends the lightning out of his fist into Nomu, just exploding into him. And Deku calls this move Wrath of Zeus. And Nomu just goes flying straight out, just like Team Rocket blasting off again type shit. Like, Nomu's out of there. And Deku can kind of see that, Shigaraki's trying to escape. And Deku's just about to stop him when Nyx appears once again. And Nyx is just like, not this time. You're not going to just eliminate them here. I've let you have your fun, but it's time for me to step in now. And Deku's just like, and I thought Chaos took care of you and that traitor, Apollo. And Nyx says, oh, Chaos took care of it all right. Sent me to the underground. Failed to realize I could gain the powers of the underground. And Deku's like, what underworld, powers could you get? And that's when she summons the literal manifestation of Hades at her side. And Deku's just like, the fuck? And she's like, being able to summon the souls of the dead is handy. Even a god's soul, in fact. And she tells Hades, go ahead, kill your nephew. Kill the son of Zeus. And Hades a mindless slave, but he does have all his powers. So Deku has to fight off against Hades right here and now. And by this time, like, all the students, they're back already, but they're seeing this, and Bakugo sees Deku's actually sweating. Like, Deku's actually nervous about the fight. And Deku charges up the lightning and throws it straight at Hades. Hades dodges. And Deku's just shocked because Hades just dodged lightning at point blank range. And Hades hits Deku right in the solar plexus with his curses. And Deku's actually affected by the curses quite a great deal. However, they don't have any lasting effects, since Hades is dead and all. And she didn't revive Hades, she just summoned Hades' soul back up to fight. So any damage that could have been lasting isn't there. Not yet, anyway. But Deku knows he can't mess around. He's got to go all out. He tells Bakugo, get everyone out of here. He's probably going to have to level this entire, facility just in order to win the fight. And Poseidon can sense this. So Poseidon comes running. And he gets in there, he breaks through the fucking ceiling and lands down beside Deku. Aizawa's just like, who in the fuck is this? And Poseidon turns and says, I'm his uncle and guardian, Poseidon. And Aizawa's just like, you mean you're the CEO of Trident? And Poseidon says, you dare mock a god, you damned mortal. And Aizawa's just kind of like, huh? And Deku's like, no, he's not wrong. You're literally talking to Poseidon, god of the seas. Aizawa doesn't believe him, and Nick says, it's true. And she shows everyone Deku's heritage, his blood. And everyone is kind of shocked, like, they're dealing with a demigod. But they also know he's fighting literal gods. And everyone's kind of scared of Deku now, just like, ooh, but Bakugo's not. Bakugo's just like, so that means if I ever surpass you, I've surpassed a god, right? Deku's like, no, you've surpassed a demigod, but not a god. I don't have all of his powers, but I do have more than his weaknesses. And everyone hears him saying, they suddenly get a lot less scared of Deku, because they have to remember, he's a human. He just happens to have the powers of a god. But they have powers too, so yeah. Deku's still cool in their books, but some of them are still kind of scared. Like Mineta for sure. And Aizawa's actually just taken aback, but he tells everyone, not a word of this to anyone else at the school. No one. Ida doesn't know because Ida's still out trying to get All Might. Because, yes, that does still happen. Because Ida doesn't think Deku is stronger than All Might. Which is ridiculous. But the fight between Poseidon and Hades and Deku occurs. But Deku asks Poseidon if he's got Hades, and Poseidon says, yeah, of course he does. It's not his brother's actual skill here. It's just the power of a mad corpse. So he's got no problems defeating this version of Hades. And Poseidon's actually kind of pissed because this is his chance to avenge Zeus from Hades' bullshit. So Nyx is about to be punched square in the face by Deku, and that's when Apollo shows up, punching Deku straight in the face, knocking him back. Not a lot, just a little, because Deku's grown a lot stronger than the last time he saw Apollo. And Poseidon sees Apollo, and he is pissed. And Nyx kind of just, decides, hey, I'm gonna just chill here for a minute. Because she wants to see the family absolutely kill each other. Like, nothing would give her greater joy than killing, you know, Deku and Poseidon, and having Apollo kill his little brother and Hades kill his brother. She finds a sick, twisted amusement in it. But Deku's done holding back. He's already told them to get back, and if they're not going to get back, he's going to level this entire facility in the surrounding area to kill Apollo. And Aizawa warns him, don't kill. If you kill, we'll have to take you in. And Deku looks back and he says, do you really think you can? And Aizawa says, we'll have to, no matter what. Poseidon tells him, don't you dare seem to question what we must do. And what we must do is for your protection. Do you know what would happen if they killed us here? Poseidon asks Aizawa that, and Aizawa's just like, no. And Poseidon says, they'd kill everyone on the planet. I'd say that qualifies for a death warrant. Aizawa concedes and he says, do what you gotta do. But he says that, and none of the students are around, and he's like, I was only telling you not to kill in front of them to set a good example. I already knew what you had to do. So do it. How far do you want us to get? Deku says, as far as you can. Can't guarantee any minimum safe distance. Not when I'm this pissed off. Aizawa agrees, and he gets everyone out of there. And they're all asking, like, so what's gonna happen now? And the fight begins. Deku slams his fist into Apollo's ribs, breaking 3 right off the bat. Apollo responds with a kick to Deku's jawline, breaking his jaw. It is a fight beyond anything. Like, Deku's throwing lightning, Apollo shooting his bow, and they're colliding. The fire off the bow ignites with the lightning, and the area's just being ripped apart. Poseidon is summoning the water that's deep beneath the surface that was used to electrify them, and he's flooding the place. Along with that, Hades' creations are just running wild, and Hades' powers are rampant, but Poseidon's just, he's improved way too much for Hades to be even a threat. So Poseidon goes, takes his trident, and slices Hades' head right off and pins it underneath his trident. And he launches himself with his water right at Nyx, about to slam it into her. And Nyx, she's charged straight at Poseidon with her darkness. And they collide, they clash. The earth beneath them cracks open, pushes everything back, and completely destroys the ground. It's just like Deku's clash with Apollo. Everything is just going insane. And they can feel it from the background. They see the storm raging, the lightning striking down, the winds blowing with ferocity. And they can smell the rain increasing. They can feel it now. Like, the storm has spread so far out that it's on them as well. And it's absolute madness. They just can't. They can't keep up anymore. And they're exhausted. So they're all just going to watch. And as they're watching the craziness just explode, Deku is crushing Apollo beneath the ground with his fist just slamming into him and the lightning striking him. Deku goes full on Kratos mode pretty much. He grabs Apollo by the face, plunges his thumb straight into his eye sockets, and lifts his head, tearing it at the neck, ripping his head clean off, and striking his body with so much lightning that it doesn't even leave a trace. He throws his head up into the air, strikes the lightning down with enough voltage that it disintegrates it and creates a massive crater. Nyx, seeing as how she's at a disadvantage, decides to do something. And she's just like, alright. And she blows Deku back with an attack. And she's about to strike Deku again, but Poseidon realizes Deku can't take that hit. So he rushes in to save Deku, and he pushes Deku out of the way with his arm right before Nyx slashes down with her sword, and it slices Poseidon's arm clean off. And Nyx retreats after that. And Poseidon is in agony, screaming. Deku's taking his lightning and cauterizes the wound, sealing it shut. And Poseidon's just in pain, yelling, screaming, and Deku's crying, seeing his adopted father in so much pain, missing an arm. He's just in shock. By that time, everyone gets there that was coming with Ida, and they see nothing. They see a wasteland. Walking among it, they find blood all over the floor. They find Deku covered in blood and Poseidon without an arm. And Poseidon and Deku are rushed to the hospital immediately. And once they're there, Deku asks, how could Nyx be this much more powerful? And Poseidon says, if she's gained the power of fallen gods, she's stronger than anything we could ever imagine. And now my power is decreased now that I've lost my arm. And Deku's like, well, if you can pay for it, pretty sure there's a way to get your arm back. And Poseidon's like, go on. And Deku's like, ever heard of cybernetics? And that's where we're leaving it off for. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you guys gave me a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new here. I've been the Crown Clown, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.